brothers and sisters on the path, there comes a time in every seeker's life when the question arises, not of how to live longer or richer or more comfortably, but how to live wisely, how to live meaningfully, how to escape the invisible prison that so many find themselves in, the cage of misery, restlessness, and endless desire. Today, I want to guide you through the teachings of a man whose thoughts, although dark in appearance, shine a light on a profound and liberating truth. His name is Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosopher of deep insight. He did not sugarcoat life, he exposed it. And yet, in doing so, he pointed to a path not out of pain completely, for that is not the nature of life, but out of unnecessary suffering. Let us walk this path together with open eyes and an open heart, recognizing the nature of our misery. Schopenhauer saw life as a kind of cosmic tension, one where existence itself is born from a blind, unconscious drive he called the will to live. This will is not peaceful, not serene. It is restless. It moves all creatures, including us, to chase, to seek, to desire endlessly. And because it is endless, satisfaction is always temporary. Let us reflect. How often do we set a goal, chase it with vigor, and upon achieving it, feel empty again? The craving returns, stronger, deeper, like a shadow that never leaves. The philosopher warned us this cycle is not an accident. It is the very structure of existence. Pleasure is not lasting, pain returns, and boredom, when all is seemingly well, creeps in to remind us that satisfaction cannot be held in our hands for long. But despair not. The goal is not to escape the human condition, but to see it clearly and live above it. Part 2, the 3 pillars of human fate. Schopenhauer divides life into 3 forces that determine our experience. It's what a person is, what a person has, how a person is regarded by others. Let us look at these one by one, not with fear, but with awareness. For awareness is the blade that cuts through illusion. 1. What someone has. In our modern world, materialism is a new religion. We worship things, we chase wealth, comfort, cars, clothes, devices, all in the name of happiness. But Schopenhauer whispers a warning. Possessions are an illusion of relief, not a foundation of peace. You buy something, you feel joy, it fades. You need more. Why? Because what you really wanted wasn't the item, it was the cessation of craving. But that craving is infinite. And when the pleasure is gone, what remains is boredom, an emptiness that feels heavier the more we feed it. He said, it is difficult, if not impossible, to define the limits which reason should impose on the desire for wealth. Why? Because there are no limits to desire. Understand this clearly. There is no object, no sum of money, no achievement that will end your suffering. These things may help you survive, but they will not make you thrive. Use money for freedom, not for ego. Use wealth to buy time, not toys. Let your finances serve your soul, not enslave it. 2. How someone is regarded by others. Reputation, status, the approval of others, one of the most powerful prisons a human being can live in. We crave applause, likes, compliments. We fear judgment, rejection, ridicule. And so, we perform, we wear masks. We live for others and slowly die inside. But brothers and sisters, let me ask you, who are they whose opinion you fear so much? Strangers, neighbors, the crowd? Do they know your heart, your struggles, your truth? No. And yet, we sacrifice our peace to earn their nod. Schopenhauer compared us to cats purring when petted, helpless before others' approval. But must it be so? He taught us, every man's chief and real existence is in his own skin and not in other people's opinions. This means live in your truth. Not for the crowd, not for applause, but because your soul knows what is right. Seek respect from yourself, not attention from others. Walk alone if that is what it takes to walk the right path. Remember, your honor is not in their words, it is in your actions, your silence, your depth. 3. What someone is. This, dear listener, is the true foundation of well-being. Who you are, your character, your temperament, your capacity for peace and cheerfulness. This is what colors your entire experience of life. Two men can stand in the same storm. One curses the sky, the other breathes deeply and feels alive. What is the difference? The storm? No. The difference is who they are inside. Personality, wisdom, self-awareness, physical health, mental clarity. These are your treasures. These cannot be bought or borrowed. They are cultivated. Schopenhauer said, what a man is, gives its color to all his experiences. You take your mind wherever you go. So if your mind is miserable, the palace becomes a prison. But if your spirit is light, even a humble hut becomes a sanctuary. Therefore, focus not on changing the world, focus on changing your way of seeing. Master your inner world, and you will walk through fire without being burned. Part 3. The power of cheerfulness. Surprising to many, Schopenhauer, this philosopher of pessimism, praised cheerfulness above all. He saw it as a natural light of the spirit, not forced, not fabricated, but arising when one is mentally and physically in harmony. Let us make this practical. When your body is healthy, even a simple walk becomes a joy. When your mind is at peace, even silence becomes music. When your conscience is clean, your rest is deep. Cheerfulness is not something you chase. It is something that visits when you stop chasing what you do not need. And how do we invite it? We simplify, we slow down, we eat to nourish, not to numb. We read, we meditate, we connect with nature, we honor our natural rhythms. We align our actions with our nature. A warrior should not sit in an office all day. A thinker should not drown in noise. Live according to who you are, not what society tells you to be. Cheerfulness is the reward of self-alignment. Part 5. The escape from suffering. How do we escape misery? Schopenhauer's answer is paradoxical. Do not desire too much happiness. Why? Because high expectations lead to a high disappointment. And the endless pursuit of pleasure leads to pain. Instead, pursue peace. Aim not for ecstasy, but for equilibrium. Avoiding suffering is more realistic and often more satisfying than chasing extreme highs. He proposed a philosophy of low pain, high depth, not the empty thrill of indulgence, but the lasting warmth of inner fulfillment. 2. What he called higher pleasures. The pleasure of reading, not scrolling. The pleasure of contemplation, not stimulation. The pleasure of poetry, art, and deep conversation. These pleasures elevate without exhausting. They require attention, not money. Discipline, not fame. And they never lose their sweetness. So let us retrain our senses. Let us not be intoxicated by noise and glitter. Let us return to the simple, beautiful, and profound. Part 5. Walking the path of wisdom. Brothers and sisters, the surest way out of misery is not to fight the world, but to master the self. It is to recognize that suffering begins with craving, and craving begins with a mind that is not still. So we still the mind. We honor the body. We walk with truth. And we accept that life will have pain, but that much of our suffering is optional. With these comparisons, please control, release the need to impress, and instead embrace simplicity over excess, silence over noise, integrity over popularity, purpose over pleasure. Live with intention, breathe with awareness, and above all, be content without needing a reason. This, Schopenhauer says, is the highest state. You are not a slave to the world's desires. You are not a prisoner of others' opinions. And you are not a puppet of the will, unless you choose to be. Freedom begins within. Peace begins within. The surest way out of misery is not out there. It is right where you are in your own skin in this very breath. Walk gently, live wisely, and let the cheerfulness of your spirit be your greatest wealth. Thank you. Shi Heng Yi. True wisdom inspires.